Good morning and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am super excited to finally be going back and sharing January with you. I, like a lot of you, probably had great intentions about going into the new year with a fully set up bullet journal and a great plan with me, but it just hasn't been working that way for me. So as you can see here, in January, I kept a similar format to what I was using at the end of the year in 2017. So I have a monthly overview, a little section for weekly goals. Ideally I would have written in things that happened here, but I didn't. I have the moon phase here, tidying, yoga, day of the week. And you probably see over here, there's all this pencil and nothing else written. That's because when the new year started, I was still working out my goals for the year and how I was going to divide them. I was also still working through Lisa Jacobs' Your Best Year book, so I was really wanting to implement some of the questions she asked and prompts she has, like the open, closed, and new business. But given that I was still going through the book, I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted to lay them out yet. So let's go on into January here. This is a format I really loved for the month of January. I was drawing these little boxes with ribbon headers, a fun little space for a doodle, my horizon, and my week or my month ahead. On the right side, I had a sort of subdivided to-do list, and going into January and even some now in February, I'm still working out exactly what I want over here. So like you'll see here, it's continued from the one above. I had meant to make this a single box all the way down, but when I was tracing my lines, I forgot. And you can see that I didn't write anything in either of those boxes. However, because this is so subdivided, I wanted a notes rapid log area, so I added in this box for that. Down here you see these 4 boxes, and these are based on the Lisa Jacobs Your Best Year prompts. So what did I achieve this week? What hindered my productivity? What helped my productivity? And what will I change next week? I've been really enjoying answering these questions every week. Personally, it's kind of hard to admit what I achieved and see that, but writing it down helps, and seeing what I can actually change to move forward and adapt. So here I went ahead and filled in some brainstorm ideas of quick dinner recipes. So I have notes from a online course, which was a nice online course. And then the next week. And that's something I really like about the way I do my bullet journal. I don't do all of my weeks at once for the month. That allows me to change my weekly up, but also to just intersperse my notes as I go. So you can see there's still a similar format down here, slightly different flowers. This box up here is something that I am implementing also from the Your Best Year. It's called a week with margin. So instead of planning out an ideal day, you're planning out an ideal week on what you work on each day of the week. So yeah, as you can see, this is staying pretty much the same. You'll notice a smudge there, but my finger got wet when I was doing my Tombow. Notes from another webinar online course. And you'll see here I left this page blank. That was so that I could start my week on the back side like I prefer to do. I also imagine I will want to go back and use this for something else at another point. Next week of January here I swapped my horizon and my calendar a little just to give me a little change. You can see I'm playing with which ones I kept up here, where I put the week with margin. Okay, and this is the last week that I have marked for January here. I really liked adding in the flower up here in that open space and just having the 4 categories in my weekly overview of my ideal week. Yeah, overall I really liked having the same colors for January, the same general setup, and just tweak a little bit about the format. If you've watched my February plan with me, you saw already what my February looks like and how that's going. I'm looking forward to showing you how things are developing in February. I know it's only a week into February, but I've made a few tweaks and I'm enjoying them so far. So that gets January, but I realized that I never actually did a new intro to this bullet journal. So it is a black A5 dot grid, but it is not a Leuchtturm. This is an Essentials notebook. It's by Peter Pauper Press. It still has the pocket in the back, only has one bookmark, which is a bummer for me, but the paper has been surprisingly good for the price. I mean, there's some shadowing there you can see, but no bleed through, even with my Flex Nib fountain pens, which is awesome. So I decided to try this for 2018 just because it was cheaper, and I thought, why not try something new to give myself a little more flexibility. I still have not fully set out for 2018. It's beginning to be a theme, I guess, but so this is my index for the year right here. You can see here I was doing a gray marker across to mark the lines. My ruler had ink from my black lines, so smeared on a few of them, which was sad. I did, however, decide to implement this where I have the months separate from the regular topical index, and that's just because I rarely refer back necessarily to the month itself. I sometimes need to, but normally the topics are in other places. Overview. I love these. I know they take a long time to write out, but it makes me so happy to see. And then I decided to go ahead and do a vertical sort of what's going on each month. And these are right now just birthdays, and I haven't gone through and filled in all the birthdays, but I went ahead and started trying to get January and February in at least because they're here. So one thing that I decided to do setting up this bullet journal is to have my quarters color coded. So the first quarter is in this lovely Tombow, I think it's a 603 marker. I love that marker. The second quarter is moving into green. Let's see, flip to the back. Spoiler, there's stuff in the back, but you probably expected that. Yeah, it's 58. It's probably one of my favorite Tombow greens. And then July through September, third quarter, we go into a dark purple, and then fourth quarter of the year is blue. So I am enjoying seeing it that way. As you can see here, I have my Calendex laid out. Again, I have not marked things yet. In part, I don't have a lot I'm planning this far out right now. I do have some things in March I need to go ahead and put in, and a few tentative things in August. But I really am liking the way that goes across. This is in pencil, and you're like, why haven't you set this up? It's because I haven't decided what to name it. So this is a page I've reserved for things that are going to be in the Calendex that, you know, maybe I've just heard it and I don't want to put it in the middle of a weekly. I want a little more space for details about it. This is a reference page for the Calendex there. Like, another unset up page. Yeah, the quarterly goals, I have them written down elsewhere, but I haven't written them down here. And I think that is just a reflection of a sort of desire to make things look pretty. And would have been wise probably to go ahead and just scribble them in. So then that got us to January, which you've seen. But you may remember from my last bullet journal, I started doing a thing where I put my collections in the back, and I decided to set up this bullet journal the same way. So in the very back, I have a test page, and then you saw me reference it here. I have a Tombow marker key so that I can see the numbers for the different colors, and then the same for some of my other pens. So I have the Pentel Touch sign pens, or these with the kind of sparkly barrel that flex. I have those. These Marvy Color It markers that I got from Michaels, and then the Le Plume by Marvy, which are just like a knockoff Tombow, basically. So then I left this page blank because I'm contemplating if I'm going to also go ahead and test all my Super Tip pens by Crayola and my Stadlers. For the Super Tip and the Stadler, since there's not really a name for them, I'm hesitant, but we'll see. Next, my bookshelf for the year. I love these collections. They make me so happy to draw little bookshelves and whatnot. This year you'll see I did a lot of plants. I got the botanical line drawing book for Christmas, and I had a lot of fun trying to implement some of those. Like last year, I left some space at the bottom for reading recommendations, and I also left the page across from it just in case I get really booking on my reading and need another set of shelves. Similar to my quarterly goals, my yearly goals I have not set up yet. Last year I went through and did little images to help me mark off and whatnot, and I haven't decided if I want to do that yet or just write them. I know, it's February, I should just write them or something, but that's where that is. This is a spread that I used from my last bullet journal to keep track of walking. I did complete the Walking to Mordor challenge. I've thought about doing the return trip, but as you can see, my success for January was kind of low. I have not written in the rest of January or February to date yet. Thankfully, my step tracking app holds that information for me so I can go back in. To the left over here is another tracker that is something I implemented in my last bullet journal. Just when it comes to health and fitness, keeping a log of the various measurements to go along with it. And I haven't jumped back into the gym yet this year, so I have not started this either. I will either be starting that next month, or maybe I'll start it in the second quarter. And now you can really begin to understand why I was not showing you this 2018 setup yet. So there's yet another page in pencil. This is for gift ideas. So whenever I think of a fun idea for a friend, family member, coworker, for a birthday gift or Christmas gift or a just because gift, I wanted a place to write that down and keep them all together. More in progress. So I'm penciling in options for this emergency fund tracker, which is 6 months worth of savings to cover all your expenses. And this is penciled in here, but I've thought of another format. So once I get it inked in a set format, you'll see it. Working towards is for things that I want that aren't necessarily cheap impulse purchases. So I'm going to save a little towards. So either I'm going to write them, or I'm going to pencil them, or I don't know. We'll see. This is something that I totally needed to do last year and did not implement, which is a headache tracker. I get a lot of headaches and I try a lot of things to try to make them go away, including loving on cats. Yes. Come on, buddy. All right, Melville, come on. You are very handsome, but you do not help them see the things. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so thank you for your patience with that. So here I have a tracker to go with I'm filling in 2 boxes if it's an all-day headache, and 1 box if it's only a half-a-day headache. I know that may seem kind of weird to people who don't get a lot of headaches, but yeah. Over here I have a cycle tracker, so for period pain, for period and for pain in the second column, just to try to keep track of that a little better. A cattail. Okay, this does bring me to the point about the one thing about this notebook, other than the bookmark that makes it a little harder, it does not have the page numbers, so I did have to go through and number all the pages at one point. Meh, not a terrible thing, and you know, for saving $10, probably worth it. But anyway, so here I have a moon phase tracker I intend to ink in at some point, but have not yet. And then I've set aside lists for home projects and craft projects that I want to complete. So that's things like, I guess it would kind of overlap. My husband saw this really cool wine bottle lamp that he said he liked, and so I want to, as a gift at some point, make one out of a wine bottle we got on our honeymoon for our house. So that would go on here, or you know, putting together a second bookcase, that would go there. Next, email stuff for business that I've kind of been letting slip, and just a tracker to get that started again. A fun doodle to go with this. So this is messy, messy, messy. I wrote this with my TWSBI fountain pen, and I thought I was using the Noodler's Bulletproof Eel ink in it, but I actually had a brown water-based ink in the pen when I added the bulletproof ink, which was really sad. So it was very smeary. But this is for a writing project, and I just have the outline right, edit, format, and ready to be sent to revisions. So just so I can see that at a glance. Notes from something else, and then Inkoramo spread. So up here I have, you know, the ones I've actually written, who they were to, and at the bottom I'm penciling in a list of folks who I want to send Inkoramo notes to. And that is the highlight of my 2018 bullet journal so far. Again, it's not the way I would like. There are a lot of pencils and stuff. I would like everything to be set up, but the way things are right now, that's not what's happening. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope maybe it got you some fun ideas, or if you are like me and watch YouTube videos when you're at the gym, that this helped you get through your cardio. And I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.